Listen up, because I have something to tell you that's going to completely flip what you think you know. We've all heard the story, right? The story about why Filipinos leave the country. They tell us it's for better pay, for more opportunities to escape poverty. And a part of that is true, of course, but what if I told you that's only half the story? What if I told you that you've been lied to about why Filipinos leave the country, that the real reason is something much bigger? A truth so massive and so hidden that it's shaping the future of nations right now in 2025? If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type interested in the comments, and I will give you a heart. I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's not just about a job or a paycheck. There's a hidden global reason behind this phenomenon, a reason that governments and international reports talk about in hushed tones but never admit to the public. They don't want you to know the full picture because it reveals a massive vulnerability they don't want to face. The world has been quietly depending on us, on our people, for years. They've been relying on our resilience, our skill, and our heart to fill gaps they couldn't fill themselves. And they never told us the real reason why. The truth is, Filipinos are not just visitors. They are quietly shaping nations from the inside. They are the silent pillars holding up societies that are cracking under the weight of their own aging populations. This isn't just about money, it's about a global problem that only we have the solution for. It's a powerful truth, a humbling truth, and a truth that we all need to recognize. This is something the world never told you, and I'm going to reveal it all right here. I want you to join me on this journey to uncover the truth. If you're ready to see the real reason why our people are so essential to the world, if you're ready to have your perspective completely changed, then drop a comment right now. Just type truth in the comment if you're ready to uncover this with me. Don't go anywhere, because the real facts are coming, and I promise you, what you learn today will change the way you see every Filipino working abroad forever. Let's do this. So let's start by breaking down the biggest lie, the stereotype, the myth. We see these headlines and these stories, and they always focus on the same thing: Filipinos as just workers, maids, nannies, seafarers. The narrative is always that they're leaving because they're poor and they need to take any job they can get. And while the desire for a better life is absolutely real, this narrow view completely misses the bigger picture. It dehumanizes them. It makes it seem like they are a disposable resource. But the reality is so different. Filipinos abroad aren't just workers, they are pillars of entire industries. I'm not just talking about the low-wage jobs. Let me give you an example. I have a friend, let's call her A.A.T. Marie. She's a nurse, a world-class nurse. She graduated from one of the top universities in Manila, and she now works in a major hospital in London, UK. She didn't leave the Philippines because she wasn't smart enough to get a job there. She left because she knew her skills would be more valued and her family would have a better future if she took on a more challenging role abroad. And she's not alone. There are thousands of nurses just like her. Doctors, engineers, IT professionals, teachers. The World Bank reported in 2025 that the Philippines is one of the world's top suppliers of nurses and seafarers, who are the backbone of global shipping and healthcare. These are highly skilled, highly trained individuals who are making a significant difference in their host country. They are saving lives. They are building critical infrastructure. They are shaping the very industries that make these nations powerful. They are not just workers, they are global nation builders. And a lot of this is driven by the sheer numbers. In 2025, the Philippine government reported that personal remittances from overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, were up by over 3%, reaching billions of dollars in just the first few months of the year. This money, sent home by people like Ate Marie, isn't just a number. It is the fuel that runs the Philippine economy. It builds homes. It funds education. It pays for food and medicine. This fact alone completely shatters the myth that OFWs are just a minor part of the global labor force. They are a massive economic engine, and the world depends on their contributions. But here's the thing, money is only the surface. It's the most talked about part of the story, but it's not the whole story, because there's something much, much deeper happening. There is a hidden dependence, a quiet reliance that countries have on our people that goes beyond the money. And it has to do with a global problem that is much scarier than any financial crisis, a problem that can't be solved with technology. I want you to think about this. Do you know what that problem is? What is it that money can't fix, but a Filipino can? Hold that thought, because in the next segment, we're going to expose the global dependence nobody ever talks about. Don't go anywhere. Okay, let's get into the heart of the matter, the deeper truth. The reason why countries don't just want Filipinos, they need them. You see, while we're talking about remittances and skilled labor, the real global reason is simple: demographics. The entire developed world is facing a massive, irreversible problem. Their populations are getting older and smaller at a shocking rate. Let me give you a simple analogy. Filipinos are like oxygen. They only notice it when it's gone. Think about countries like Japan, South Korea, and even Saudi Arabia. For years, they've had this mindset of self-sufficiency, but in 2025, the reality is changing. Japan has one of the oldest populations in the world, with a shrinking workforce that can no longer sustain their economy. South Korea's birth rate is at an all-time low, creating a demographic cliff that threatens to derail their entire society. And even in the Middle East, a country like Saudi Arabia, which has historically relied on oil, is now realizing they can't build their Vision 2030 without a young, dynamic, and dedicated labor force. And guess who has a surplus of exactly what they need? The Philippines. With a young, vibrant population, we have the human capital that these nations are losing. Our people are not just filling jobs, they are filling a demographic void. They are literally preventing the collapse of entire industries. So when we talk about Filipino workers in Japan, we're not just talking about factory hands. We're talking about the people who are preventing assembly lines from shutting down. When we talk about Filipinos in Saudi Arabia, we're talking about the engineers and construction workers who are building the cities of tomorrow. When we talk about OFWs in South Korea, we're talking about the teachers and caregivers who are nurturing the next generation and caring for the last. This isn't just a simple worker-employer relationship, it's a fundamental dependence. And this isn't my opinion. This is a fact that governments are quietly studying. A recent report by the UN in 2025 highlighted that the global economy's future hinges on labor migration from countries with younger populations to those with aging ones. And the Philippines, as a major source of skilled English-speaking talent, is at the very top of that list. This is a powerful, undeniable truth. I want you to really think about that. We are the hidden lifeline of the world. And if you believe that Filipinos are the world's hidden lifeline, then I want you to go down to the comments right now and type "Go Mega." Let the world know that we see this. Let's make this silent reality loud and clear, because as powerful as that is, here's where things get even more shocking. Filipinos are filling gaps that even technology cannot replace. The gaps of human connection, of compassion, and of culture. And we're going to talk about that right after this. Don't go anywhere. So we've established that Filipinos are filling a massive demographic void, but that's still not the whole picture, because a machine can do a job, but it can't bring what a Filipino brings. I'm talking about culture. I'm talking about values. This is the part of the story that is almost impossible to quantify, but it's the most important. Let's go back to Japan. They're dealing with a super aged society, and one of their biggest challenges is providing respectful and compassionate care for their elderly. The traditional model of care, while efficient, can often lack a certain human touch. But then you bring in a Filipino caregiver, and suddenly everything changes. They bring values like pag-alaga, caring, pagaling, respect, and a deep sense of family. They treat their patients not just as clients, but as a part of their own family. I read a story about a Filipino caregiver in Tokyo who spent her own money to buy an elderly Japanese man his favorite snacks because he wasn't eating. She didn't have to do that. It wasn't in her job description, but it's in our DNA. It's a core Filipino value. She was treating him like her own grandfather. And in doing so, she wasn't just doing a job. She was bringing a piece of our culture, our humanity, to a place that desperately needed it. This is happening in hospitals, in London, in schools, in Dubai, and in homes all over the world. Filipino values like our resilience, our ability to smile through any challenge, our pakikisama, camaraderie, and our deep sense of community are reshaping workplaces abroad. We don't just work, we connect. We don't just provide a service, we build relationships. We don't just fulfill a contract, we become a part of the family. This is the Filipino culture factor that governments are quietly learning to rely on. We are bringing a sense of warmth and dignity to industries that have become cold and clinical. And this is a powerful, almost spiritual contribution that no robot, no AI, no technology can ever replicate. We are the human element that the world is so desperately missing. But here's the twist, the element of suspense. While most people appreciate this influence, not everyone is happy about this. This influx of new culture, this dependency, creates a certain kind of tension. And we're going to talk about the silent struggles that OFWs face every single day, because as much as the world gains from us, there's a cost. And the people who pay that price are our own. Don't go anywhere, because the next segment is going to get real and emotional. Okay, so we've talked about the pride, we've talked about the power, now we have to talk about the price. Because behind every dollar sent home, every patient cared for, and every building constructed, there is a human story of sacrifice. And these are the silent struggles overseas that nobody talks about. I want to share a real mini story with you that will hit you in the heart. It's a story about a friend of my family's. Let's call her Nene Elena. She's an OFW in Saudi Arabia, she's a domestic helper, and she's been away from her children for 7 years. Her son, who was just a boy when she left, is now graduating from college. She funded his entire education, every single peso, with her hard-earned money. She's his hero, but she's not there for his graduation. She's watching it on a live stream, alone in her room, a million miles away with tears streaming down her face. That's the emotional dive. That's the heartbreak. This isn't just homesickness, this is a constant state of being. It's the long, grueling contracts, the feeling of discrimination, the loneliness of being an outsider in a foreign land. It's the silent pain of missing birthdays, anniversaries, and milestones that you can never get back. The UN has reported in 2025 that mental health struggles among OFWs are a growing concern, and it's not hard to see why. They carry the weight of their family's future on their shoulders, and they do it alone. So why do they keep pushing forward despite all this pain? The answer will shock you, because it's not for themselves. The truth is they keep pushing forward because of their love for their family. Their motivation is not just about making a living, it's about providing a future. They are the ultimate givers, the ultimate providers. They endure the hardship, the discrimination, and the loneliness because their family's success is their greatest reward. And that's a truth that every Filipino understands. This is a testament to the strength of the Filipino spirit. It's a love that is so powerful, it can transcend oceans, time zones, and even deep emotional wounds. It's a love that makes the impossible possible. So I want you to take a moment and think about the OFWs in your life, the heroes you know. If you know that they deserve more than just praise, if you know they deserve respect, recognition, and our undying gratitude for their sacrifice, then comment respect down below. Let's create a space where we can celebrate their strength and honor their pain. Don't go anywhere, because the next segment is going to reveal how our people have become the world's insurance policy. And that's a truth you need to hear. Okay, let's step back and look at the big picture, the global chessboard. I want to show you the ultimate truth that makes our people an indispensable force in the world. It's about demographics. It's about a global imbalance that only the Philippines can fix. And because of this, Filipinos have become the world's insurance policy. Look at this map. You see all these countries in Europe, East Asia, and even parts of North America. They are all facing a massive crisis. Their populations are getting older and their workforces are shrinking. Birth rates are plummeting, and there simply aren't enough young people to take care of the elderly and keep their economies running. Now look at the Philippines. We have a young, dynamic, and rapidly growing workforce. We are literally a powerhouse of human capital. Our average age is significantly lower than that of developed nations. This is a simple but profound truth. We have what they need, and they have what we need. This is why the UN predicts that Filipino workers will remain critical for decades to come. As of 2025, the International Labor Organization, ILO, has highlighted that global labor mobility will become more and more vital for developed economies to simply maintain their current level of growth. They need an external supply of young labor to keep their economic engines from sputtering out. Think of it like this. The Philippines is like a power bank keeping aging nations charged. They have the infrastructure, the technology, and the wealth, but they are running low on human energy. And we are the battery. We are the source of that human energy. This is a game changer. It reframes our entire narrative. We are not just a country that is sending people away. We are a country that is providing a vital service to the entire world. We are the solution to a global crisis. This is why their governments are not just allowing our people in, they are actively seeking them out. They are creating special programs, fast-tracking visas, and making silent deals to ensure a steady supply of Filipino talent. Because they know that without us, their economies would grind to a halt. Their healthcare systems would collapse. Their elderly would be left without care. But here's the problem with this arrangement. While the world gains a vital insurance policy, what does the Philippines lose? And what happens if the Philippines stops sending workers abroad? We're going to talk about the hidden cost of our role as the world's power bank. And the answer will be a dose of reality that might make you angry. Don't go anywhere because the tension is building. So we've established that the world is gaining an indispensable lifeline and insurance policy from the Philippines. But now we have to talk about the cost. And this is a tension that is at the heart of our nation. Brain drain via remittance gain. On the other hand, we have the immense financial benefits. As we discussed, OFWs send home billions every year. This is a massive economic gain for our country, something that helps millions of families. But on the other hand, we are losing our greatest resource, our people. We are losing our doctors, our engineers, our teachers, our nurses. We are losing the best and the brightest. I have a friend from college, let's call him Kuya Ben. He was one of the top engineering students in our batch. Everyone knew he was brilliant. We all thought he'd stay and help build our country's infrastructure, fix our traffic problems, and build our own skyscrapers. But a few years ago, he took a job as a lead engineer in Dubai. He's now working on massive multi-billion-dollar projects that are shaping the skyline of a foreign nation. And he's making more in a month than he could in a year back home. A success story for his family, but what about for our country? What kind of bridges could he have built back home? What kind of problems could he have solved? This is the central tension. The world gains a top engineer and our country loses a brilliant mind. We gain remittances, but we lose the very people who could build a more prosperous Philippines. This is a cycle where our own government seems to have given up on keeping our people at home. The government benefits from the remittances, from the foreign currency that keeps our economy afloat. But what are the long-term consequences? We are creating a generation of children who are growing up without their parents. We are losing the very people who could be the innovators, the leaders, and the nation builders of our own future. This leads us to a deeply frustrating question. So why hasn't the government truly fixed this cycle? Why haven't they created enough opportunities and a better environment to keep our most talented people at home? The answer, as frustrating as it is, will make you angry because it points to a truth that our own leaders are complicit in. Don't go anywhere because in the next segment, we're going to talk about the truth that governments won't say out loud. And you're going to want to hear this. All right, let's get to the most infuriating part of this whole truth. We've talked about the global dependence, the cultural value, and the immense personal cost. But now we have to talk about the silence from the top, the truth that governments won't say out loud. Here's the bombshell. While countries like Japan and South Korea publicly talk about their friendly relations with the Philippines, they are also engaging in silent recruitment and hidden deals. They are not just passively accepting our workers, they are actively seeking them out. They are quietly creating special programs and incentives to attract and retain our talent. They are building a system of dependency, a system that they know is a matter of their own national survival, but they don't want to admit it to their own people or to us. And on our end, our own government, while a part of their messaging is about bringing people home, the reality is that they are quietly relying on the remittances. The Bangko Sentral ng Filipinos reported in 2025 that the constant growth of remittances has been a lifeline for household spending and a key buffer for the Philippine economy against global uncertainties. This is a fact. They know that this system works, and they are in many ways an active participant in it. The cycle continues because it benefits everyone at the top. The receiving countries get the talent they desperately need without having to address their own demographic problems, and our government gets the financial lifeline it needs to prop up our economy. And in the middle of it all are the OFWs. They are the pawns in this global game. They are the unsung heroes who are sacrificing their lives for their families while governments on both sides are benefiting from their sacrifice. They are treated like a commodity, a resource to be managed, but rarely as the powerful, intelligent, and compassionate human beings that they are. This is the ultimate truth that they won't say out loud. They are dependent on us, and they are quietly using us to solve their problems, and our own leaders are letting it happen. But this has to change. The narrative has to shift. We are not just a country that is a source of labor, we are a source of solutions. We are a global nation builder, and it's time that we demand the respect and the recognition that we deserve. We need to turn this silent dependency into a loud conversation. If you believe that Filipinos should be recognized as global nation builders and not just as a labor export, then I want you to comment power right now. Let's show the world that we see our own value. Let's demand that we are treated with the respect we deserve. And this leads us to the ultimate truth: what Filipinos overseas really mean to the world. Don't click away, because the climax is here. Okay, we've reached the end of our journey, and it's time for the ultimate payoff. We've challenged the myth. We've exposed the global dependence. We've honored the silent struggles. We've confronted the inconvenient truth, and now it's time for the final, unstoppable truth. The truth the world never told you is that Filipinos are not golden servants. We are not just maids, nurses, and seafarers. Those are just the names of the jobs. Those are just the titles. We are the world's hidden foundation. We are the lifelines, the healers, the builders. We are the compassionate hands, the brilliant minds, and the unbreakable spirits that are holding up the world. We are the ones who are filling the gaps that technology cannot replace. We are the ones who are bringing a sense of family and community to cultures that are becoming more isolated. We are the ones who are providing the human energy for nations that are running on empty. And our power isn't just in our numbers or our remittances. Our power is in our values. Our power is in our humanity. Our power is in our heart. The truth the world never told you, the one that makes them so dependent on us, is that Filipinos are the hope nations cling to. We are the answer to a question that the developed world doesn't want to ask out loud. What happens when you run out of people? The answer is simple: you turn to the Philippines. And we are there. We have always been there. This is a moment of profound reframing. From here on out, let's stop seeing ourselves as a country that exports labor. Let's start seeing ourselves as a nation that exports solutions, a nation that provides a global service. A service of resilience, of compassion, and of pure human grit. We are the backbone of tomorrow's world. I want you to feel that power. I want you to feel that sense of pride. This is a story that needs to be shared and it needs to be celebrated. So right now, if you are proud of our people, if you are proud of our contribution to the world, then I want you to go down to the comments right now and type Filipino pride. Let's create a tidal wave of pride that the world cannot ignore. We are not just a nation, we are a global force. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. I hope that after watching this, you have a new sense of respect and recognition for Filipinos worldwide. We are not just workers, we are the backbone of tomorrow's world. And the conversation doesn't stop here. Because if you thought this truth was powerful, if you thought what we learned about South Korea was a game changer, then you need to see what's coming next. I've got another video ready for you, and it's about a truth that's even more shocking than what we just covered. In our next video, we're going to talk about what Japan just revealed about Filipinos, and I promise you, it's a revelation that you won't believe. It's going to change everything. So click on the video right here, and I'll see you there. Let's keep this conversation going.